Welcome to At the Root with Greg Kuiper. Greg is a psychotherapist and holistic life coach. His practice is Kuiper Counseling. Through his professional practice and personal experiences, Greg knows that without connection with ourselves, connection with others is near impossible because emotional connection is at the root of healthy living. So we have big, exciting news.
Yeah, cue the fireworks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you are you going to cue fireworks, Eric? If you listen to JD's show before this, then you know he is moving over to same time. Oh, there it is.
The fireworks.
I love it. Thank you for that.
Perfect.
He's moving over to Kixie 880 from 3 to 4 on Mondays. And so you don't have to worry, though, about competing like, I don't know who to listen to, because both of these shows are podcasts. So you can listen to them live. You can listen to the other as a podcast. You don't have to pick favorites. It's like your children. So don't worry about that. But Greg is taking the full hour. He is going to, right?
Yes. Excited.
It's very exciting. We're going to actually have time then for people to call in.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. I am. I'd like to expand on that.
Yep.
And you know, hopefully we can just have a little bit more of a relaxed format. Sometimes I really feel like I'm rushing the material that I'm trying to get out there. You and I don't have enough time for your analogies sometimes.
Well, you know.
And, you know, we got to get all this material covered. And you know, sometimes when we're talking with Steve and Shar, I just feel like I'm condensing it too much. There's more in there that could be fleshed out a little bit.
Absolutely.
Push for so much time, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we owe it to Steve and Shar.
Yeah.
And, you know, we owe it to listeners. So I think between being able to have people call in, which as a reminder, you are welcome to call in to this show and ongoing. You can call 425-373-5527. You can also go to kuipercounseling.com where you can, if you have a question and you're hesitant to come on the air, then send Greg a note that's like, hey, I have a question about this. I relate to Steve.
Absolutely.
I relate to Shar. I think they're both drips. I mean, I don't know. So, you know, you can send a note.
Right.
And, you know, you can stay anonymous. We won't mention you. He's got that whole doctor-patient confidentiality thing.
Well, you can email too at connectionthroughawareness
at gmail.com.
At gmail.com.
Yep.
Just like that. Connection through awareness, one word, at gmail.com. And yeah, I'd be happy to share your thoughts on the air, answer some questions. It'd be great.
Absolutely. And then the other thing that you can do is, let's say you're listening to the show and you think to yourself, this would be so good for my insert husband, wife, partner, child, whomever, to hear this. They've been talking about their own relationships, up and downs and whatever. You can also go to Greg's YouTube channel, which is called Connection Through Awareness with Greg Kuiper. And some people, like me with my ADHD, we have a hard time just listening. So even though there's not, you know, you've got you recording in here, and it's just something else, another sense to engage.
Right. And we video these sessions, and they're on YouTube also. There's a podcast. You can find those on my website or on KKNW's website. So I'm just really excited about being able to expand this a little bit. You know, maybe we can find, we can find examples of other sessions that I do with people that'll play in, you know, anonymous.
Absolutely.
Of course. And guests. I'm so excited about involving some guests, other collaborators in the field.
Yep.
And others that can share in experiences related to emotional connection, perhaps some of their personal experiences, whatever.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, both, you know, sort of patients, I'm doing air quotes, which you can't see, and, you know, and then also, as you say, other practitioners. You know, you've talked about how a lot of the work that you do, it can be coupled with other types of therapies, whether it's traditional or alternative types.
Sure.
And so to bring people on to talk about that and explain A, what it is, and B, how it can work in conjunction with what you're doing.
Yep.
That will be so exciting.
And as we're going forward, as the start with this hour-long format, we're going forward with looking at the healing journey, right?
Mm-hmm.
Healing these wounds. And there are so many different healers and methods and approaches and resources out there. And I'm just excited to be able to share some of those, maybe get some of those people on here too. And, also we'll have time to provide more resources. I'd like to do that, sharing books and places online to visit, and so that you can carry these thoughts that we have onward during your week.
Oh, yeah. Well, and, let's get down to the real nitty-gritty here. Then I get like a full hour of therapy every week.
This is true.
It's not about me, but we might have to work on like narcissism.
All right, we'll put that in episode. No.
So
we'll
remind.
Offline, okay?
Yeah. Well,
right.
Sure. We'll remind people again at the end of the show about that. But in the meantime, where are we going?
Well, our discussions over these past few months have been centered around the illusions and the triggers that we live by and with. We live with these things as we function automatically from this unconscious personality every day, right? We function from it. Our illusions get triggered in our everyday interactions with others, and we, much of the time, just react, right? And these reactions have a way of triggering the unconscious reactions from other people, from their illusions, and we spend a great deal of time in our lives living without awareness or intention.
Mm-hmm.
Something we've been talking about recently, too, is intention.
Did you see the article that I shared with you?
I did not. Now I feel badly.
No. Oh, it's fine.
I'm going to look.
There was an article, interestingly, on BuzzFeed. Yes, I know it's not a news source world. Okay, everyone in the studio right now is shaking their heads like, oh my gosh,
we're
seriously?
grinning, yes.
Anyway, I know it's not a news source. However, it was talking about a subreddit thread that was, reactions that you have to things that clearly came from childhood.
Uh-huh.
And in discussing it with the greater world, you realized is not normal. And it was really interesting. I was like, Greg.
I'm going to look. This sounds interesting.
I read BuzzFeed so that I can share this very important information with you.
And I missed it. I'm sorry. I'll find that email.
It's okay. Anyway, so back to what you were saying.
Well, we call this unconscious functioning that we do every day. This is what we call living. And it is, the unconscious functioning is really just the bane of emotional connection. It's, one of the innate needs of the human species, as believed by many, is emotional connection. And I'd also offer that it's the bane of the other two innate needs also that are described as safety and satisfaction.
Mm-hmm.
So when we individually function from this unconscious programming, which we falsely believe to be a source of security, it hinders and damages our relationships with others. And when we collectively function from this false place of supposed security, our world looks like it does today.
A mess.
Well, I believe that the energy of our planet is evolving and transforming. And the result of that transformation will be a higher consciousness for our species. I do believe that. It's coming. It's taken a long time. But just as our inner transformation evolves with awareness and kind intention, so will the collective transformation evolve with awareness and kind intention.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's a ripple effect.
It is.
Or karma, or whatever it is.
Yeah. We need more ripples.
We need a lot more ripples.
Well, and that's what we're doing. These illusions fall away with awareness of the triggers and the automatic reactions, right? And then here's the bandages. We see them underneath. And peeling back the bandages, we look at the wounds with loving and kind intention. And that's through that lens. That's where this healing begins. Loving and kind intention. A beginning for us, right, in our healing is the start of a journey. We're calling it the healing journey, our healing journey.
I feel like there needs to be like a baby book.
Okay.
Well,
let's go with it.
I just hosted a baby shower over the weekend.
Oh, yeah?
And I'm being funny and I'm not being funny because it's milestones, right? So a healing journey is about giving birth to this new aware, conscious part of you.
Right.
And there's these milestones that you could write down in your Our Healing Journey baby book.
We got to call it something besides baby book. But I get it. Okay, we're going to work on that.
Our Healing Journey journal.
Okay, it's a journal.
There we go.
Definitely. And so here we go on this journey. And as with any journey, there's the anticipation of what is to come along the way, right? Ooh. Is this going to be scary? Is it going to be hard? Are we going to be poking at the wounds and just causing more pain? Right? These are all valid questions. What if we don't like what we find along the way? Ooh. We become overcome by fear and anxiety. Well, that's what's running our lives today. So what's new, right? Let's see if we can change that.
Absolutely.
So this is where our continuing work on awareness is going to aid this journey. As we move along, we bring forth the uneasy feelings and name them and make choices, right? We've talked about this. Allowing us to reframe these experiences and continue the journey with new learning rather than fear. So that's going to be part of this journey. Another part is, we got to make sure we know where we're going on the journey, right?
Yeah.
Where's this journey going? What is our destination? Is it fixed or is it fluid? What is the result we are hoping for? Is it more than just relief?
Right.
Well,
and it may change and evolve.
Yes.
I'm thinking about this whole journal idea. Like, we should do merch. Okay, but that's a side thing. But I'm thinking, seriously about this, the journey piece, and that when you write down what your first intention is, right, it may change over time as you start to uncover things. And you suddenly, as you become more aware, you really start to be aware of really what is at the core of this journey.
And that's a very valid point. We want this to be flexible, right, and not rigid.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is where I'm going, and this is what I'm going to attain. And with that kind of focus and narrow-mindedness, I guess I call it tunnel vision maybe, we're going to miss out on a lot of the things coming in from the side that could be valuable, right? And that's, a lot of times that's just allowing our intuition to be involved.
Right.
Right. Excuse me. It'd be great if we could go through our days more relaxed and in a reflective manner, right? Don't you think? Just kind of moving through in more of a state of bliss and calm, kindness. That'd be great. This would be vibrating. We all are electromagnets, right? We're just it's energy. We are energy.
Mm-hmm.
And so in doing that, we would be vibrating with a higher energy. And these higher energies are ones like gratitude, kindness, compassion, and joy. And then we kind of leave behind on the journey as we move the lower energies of consciousness like anger and fear, jealousy, shame, and guilt. So I certainly think that is a worthy destination, is doing this, making that where we are going.
Absolutely.
Along the way, on this journey, we are going to want wholeheartedly to embrace honesty and truth. Our autopilot has brought us fears and lies. That's falseness. Is that a word, falseness?
It is now.
Okay. Living in the realm of false can bring us no joy because false is not real. Truth is real. And in truth, we can find answers and healing. So that's part of our journey too.
It's very true. I think about 2 of my kids deal with anxiety, and what I have learned is that trying to make them feel better by placating, it doesn't work.
No.
You need to tell the truth so that they have that in front of them and they can then process it
Right.
and deal. So, the truth shall set you free.
Yeah. Well, it allows us to reframe, right? It allows us to change rather than just continue living in the falseness. I'll use it again. I think it's a word. I don't know. You know what I mean.
Yes.
Right? Everybody? You know what
Yes. I'll speak for everybody.
I mean. Okay, thanks.
Yes.
So on this journey too, this healing journey, we are going to talk a lot about grace and compassion and empathy and kind intention and vulnerability. So spoiler alert, these are the true secrets of healing emotionally.
Noted.
And before we can get this healing going, right, we've got to know what the wounds are. We may have hidden them so deeply that we don't know where they are. Or we've got them boarded up in the back room, right? Out of sight, out of mind.
They're in a safe.
They are back there. We're going to want to look at ways to find them and gently bring them out for a safe inspection. Safe is the word, an assessment. Healing can't start until we know what we're healing. That was profound, right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, it is.
We got to know.
Right. I mean, it's, you go to the doctor, and when you go to the emergency room, they're not like, so what are we healing today? And you're like, I don't know, pick something. Yeah. I mean, you go in with like, I broke my toe, or I did, whatever.
Right.
You have to participate in the care and keeping of yourself.
That's right. We've got to know. And, so many of us don't know. I can think of it numerous times when I'm talking with people in sessions, and it's that, what? I'm fine. Life is good. Meanwhile, their wife is talking to an attorney, right?
Right.
I mean, it happens every day.
Well, and fine, by the way, we are not allowed to curse on the air, but I would argue that fine is yet another 4-letter F word. I mean, there is nothing worse than having communication with a spouse, a significant other, a kid, whomever it is, and they respond fine. It's like throwing lighter fluid
right.
on an argument. Like, whoosh.
Fine.
Fine is not fine.
That's so dismissive, right?
It is.
Fine.
Right. And I even have become aware of that in not transactions, in interactions with people. Today I was at a store and I asked the person in front of me, I said, I'm going to go put something down. Could you watch my cart? I don't know who she is, but I'm like, what could happen? And we strike up a conversation. The gentleman in front of her, he starts in. Like, the three of us became besties on this line. And in a part, it was not responding, the, oh, hi, how are you? Fine.
Right.
It's actually engaging with people.
Right.
It sets your course for something good.
Oh, I like that. Set your course for something good.
Mm-hmm.
We have to jot that one down.
I'll write it down.
Okay.
Okay.
So something else we're going to do here on this healing journey is very important. We are going to learn and do and have some loving talks and big, big hugs for our divine spirit, the essence of our soul, our inner true self, the wounded.
It's so interesting when you bring that language up, people can sort of recoil at the idea that, like, oh, this sounds weird or airy-fairy or whatever it is. And yet it's the practicalities of what you've been talking about all along. And that whole self-love thing. Are you coughing up a lung?
Yeah, I am.
And, it's, well, I don't need you to cough up a lung. That would be bad. But the whole idea of loving yourself, oh, it's all right. And loving yourself and, that divine spirit, that core of who we are, that innocent child that you talk about that's at the core of things, right? And that divine spirit is that untouched, pure part of ourselves. And that's the part that got wounded. So as much as people may be like, ugh, that language is whatever, I would say to you, sir or madam, it's not. It is what is going on.
Right. And we've got to be able to find that part of us in this journey so that we can have those loving talks and big hugs with that inner self that's in there. And we've kind of relegated it to the back room back there somewhere, right? It's here. It's part of us.
Yep.
We'll never lose it. But it's not as active in our existence as it can be.
Right.
It should be. So, and on this journey, I'm hoping to examine this healing process from perspectives of spirituality and neuroscience.
Mm-hmm.
I don't find any reasons to make them mutually exclusive.
No.
I just don't. Although, a purist might, but to me, that's just plain old narrow-mindedness, right? I mean, I'm going with infinite possibilities as we go on this journey.
Absolutely.
Infinite possibilities. And so, starting next week, we're headed out on this journey armed with infinite possibilities. The healing journey starts. Let's do
excited. We're going to set your course for something good. I mean, seriously, folks that are listening, consider getting a journal and consider
great idea.
Starting at the beginning of this healing journey and think about where you want to go and, write some of these things down. And even if you set a timer for yourself, which, by the way, I feel like I'm talking to myself because I don't do this and I really need to. And you set a timer for 3 minutes a day where you just write some things down and you have that presence 3 minutes a day.
Right.
You can uncover some interesting truths. And before you know it, that habit will evolve into more time. And it can be a really useful tool in uncovering things.
It's highly useful. I really recommend, first you find the right time of day for you, but for many it's right before bed, the little notepad on the nightstand,
Yep.
Crawl in. You don't have to write a chapter. You don't have to write a book. You're just jotting down some feelings that you had that day, very important feelings and thoughts, of course, about what has happened to you, where you'd like tomorrow to go, intentions. And that would be very valuable as we go on this journey together, so as you can look back and see what's been happening. Journaling is a wonderful tool in healing.
Writing down I got triggered today and, what did it bring up for me? And, or I noticed, my spouse and, and this is something that I can avoid in the future and whatever.
All right. And you don't have to answer those questions at the moment. You just ask them, right? And maybe the next day the answer is there or whatever. It's just, you're putting down your thoughts and feelings. You don't have to analyze them.
Yep. I love
you
it.
spend all day analyzing and overthinking and overthinking and overthinking, right? That's what we do.
I'm like, is this personal? This feels personal. But
So,
then I do speak
so
for the
at
people.
night, let's not analyze. When we do that journaling, let's just jot it down.
Yep. And put it out
Cool.
there.
All right, next week.
So next week, it's the full 1 hour. So from 3 to 4 on
Starts
Mondays.
at 3, not 3:30.
Yep. So we're starting at 3 and going until 4 here on 1150 KKNW. And remember, if you're not able to listen to the whole show, you can always listen to the podcast.
Right.
And you can also find JD's show on his new time and station and find his podcast online. Remember, there are no favorite children. We like them all. Anyway,
All right.
what's your
Everybody,
there we go.
as we go through our week, just stay aware out there. Looking forward to seeing you next week at 3. Bye-bye.